Okay, so here's an appointment that I booked without cold calling. As you can see here, she just asked, what's the time that works. And then here's another appointment. As you can see, he spelled my name wrong, but besides the fact, that's another one. Here's another appointment that I booked. Here's another appointment, and here's another appointment that I booked. So as you can see, I have experience when it comes to booking SMA appointments. So overall, how do you book SMA appointments without cold calling? Let's get right into it. How's it going, guys? If you don't know me already, my name is Bogle. On this channel, we talk about starting, growing, and scaling your SMMA, mostly just about getting appointments and just getting started overall, because overall, that's the hardest part. Everything else you can learn and it comes along, but if you don't have appointments, you don't have an SMA agency overall, because you need appointments in order to get actual clients for your SMA agency. And once you know how to actually get SMA appointments, the rest of it becomes easier, because once you have the appointment, that's a potential client that could be a paying client within a week from you actually setting that appointment. So we talk about that a lot in this channel. So be sure to join me on this journey, hitting the subscribe button and also hitting the like button as well on this video. It really helps, and it tells the YouTube algorithm that you like videos like these, so you get more of them, so you get more tips on how to get bigger and better SMMA clients. So overall, what do you do, and how do you overall get emails like that, get responses like that when it comes to booking SMMA appointments for your agency, all without cold calling? So before I get into it, I do want to say, if you're just starting out, not only with SMMA, but just in the business world in general, don't be so afraid of cold calling. That's actually how I was able to get my very first client in SMA. It was through cold calling. I have a live recording of that in my video from cold to close. And the thing is, you don't have to make that many phone calls to get appointments if you have the right message script, which you can get if you join this group, SMA Client Acquisition Tips, Tricks, and Accountability. It's the phone call script that I use, and you can also use this script to do this strategy, which I'm about to explain as well. And you can get clients through that method as well, using this script as well. Just be sure to join the group, and then you'll get instructions on how you can get your hands on this script. But besides that, another reason why I like cold calling is because it's kind of like your entrance into the business world, and I really do recommend it because I was able to book a lot of appointments with cold calling, and it helped me talk to business owners during the appointment, because you don't want the first time you talk to business owners, when you're in an appointment trying to close them, because you want that, because that's a person that is a potential deal that you could make. But simply because you have lack of experience actually talking to business owners, you don't want to lose that potential deal. So you want to get that experience cold calling, and then once you've booked an appointment, once you've gotten clients through cold calling, then you can move on to trying to get SMA clients without cold calling. How do you actually get clients without cold calling? So the next best thing when it comes to cold calling is cold messaging and cold emailing. A lot of you guys know this channel from one of my most popular video, how I sent 6 cold messages and booked 3 calls. So that's another way you can get clients without cold calling, and that's through cold messaging. So with that video, I'm gonna be honest with you, that was probably like the luckiest streak I have when it came to actually cold messaging and actually getting booked calls for myself. Other days, there are other days where I sent 10, 20, 30, 40 messages, and I got appointments for that day. And then there have been some other days where I sent like 5 messages and I maybe got 2 appointments from it. So all that matters is, it just depends on the day when it came to the appointment. But most importantly, it just comes down to the amount of people that you reach out to. That's it. If you don't want to get SMA appointments from cold calling, I talk about it in one of my videos, my SMA outreach video. Cold calling is very effective, and it's also sort of efficient, because you can make 20, 30 calls in an hour. So if you don't want to do that, you need to find a way to reach out to as many business owners as you possibly can, and with a good message, with a good script, and that way you don't have to cold call them. But the problem with that is that, with cold messaging, cold emailing, it's not as effective because it's easy to ignore a message. It's easy to miss a message as well. But it's not as easy to, miss a phone call, or like if someone's actually talking to you. That's not as easy as well. So when it comes to cold messaging or cold emailing, or just messaging people out in general, you have to do a lot more messages than you would 2 calls. So for example, let's say if you make 20 cold calls, you're able to book 3 appointments. That means if you sent 100, 200 emails, you may only book 1 appointment. But overall, let's say if you're messaging, with that analogy, if you message 200 people, you get 1 appointment. If you simply just up the outreach, so if you message 1,000 people, you can get 5 appointments. So it's just a matter of just reaching out to as many people as possible with the right message. There are many different systems that you can use to actually, reach out to that many people, like 1,000 plus people, when it comes to like cold emailing or cold messaging. But the first thing you have to do before you implement this stuff is like this video and subscribe to this channel so you can get more awesome content when it comes to getting SMMA clients. And then the second thing you need to do is to, just find like a cold email or a cold messaging software. There's a whole lot of them. There's like Woodpecker. There's just so many of them that I can't name them off the top of my head. And what most people do is they get a domain, and they make like a junk domain, which they use for their email, which is used for their cold emailing. So that way they warm up that domain and they blast off thousands and thousands of emails, and that way you're gonna start to get appointments on autopilot. The emails are reaching out to that many people. Or what you could do is just to go do what I used to do and just copy and paste a script that you have with on like a Facebook message, or you can email the business directly from yourself. Just copy and paste the script there and just send message after message after message, because you can probably send a lot more messages than you can a lot more calls. So if you don't want to pay for any cold emailing subscriptions or stuff like that, you can simply just go onto Facebook pages or just go on Instagrams. There are many ways to reach out to business owners. You just gotta find them. Go on Google, go on their website, and just reach out to them just with a message script. And so just by simply cold messaging or cold emailing, you're going to be able to reach a lot more businesses, and you'll be able to get a lot more appointments if you're able to message those businesses with the right message. And you might be thinking, if I message the business, does it need to be personalized or does it not need to be personalized? So overall, you want to make it as personal as possible, but you don't want to sacrifice too much time because of it. So for example, you don't want to sacrifice you having to do 3 hours of research to send 1 messages. So when it comes to cold messaging or cold emailing, what you want to do is when it comes to personalization, you just want to use the business owner's name if you can find it. If you look in the reviews, that's where it is a lot. If you look in the About Us section, you'll find the business owner's name. But if you can't find it, don't really sweat about it. Just use maybe the business name in the message. So just paste your script and then paste the message somewhere in your script of the business name. And that's enough personalization that you need. You don't need to know I've seen you've been in business since 1985 and stuff like that. You don't need that type of stuff. Just having the business owner's name or the business name in that message, that should be enough to get their attention and to treat it to be a little bit personalized as well. And I know, just really quickly, I know a lot of people say, do video outreach, that's great. So I always like to use the example. So someone reached out to me via video outreach, and while I did really like his video presentation and I thought it was really good, overall I did not need his service, so I didn't take up on his service. If he sent me the same thing with a cold message, I still would not have needed his service overall. So it's just the medium doesn't really matter. If a business needs your service, they're gonna reply to you some way, shape, or form. So the next thing when it comes to getting clients is you need to hit the notification bell as well if you have not already. It's right beside the subscribe button if you haven't already. So that's the next step. I didn't make the rules, that's just how it is. But the next step is overall is to craft the perfect message in order to get the business owner's attention. So what is the perfect message that you need to use in order to get that business owner's attention? So overall, it's very simple. You have to give the business what they want. So let me repeat that again. You have to give or offer the business, what they want. So I always use chiropractors as an example. So chiropractors want more patients, right? So chiropractors want more patients. They don't want Facebook ads. They don't want SEO. They don't want Google ads. Most business owners I talk to nowadays have no idea what that is. They know that it's like, oh, it's a digital thing, and they definitely have no idea how to do it, but they have just no idea what it is overall. If you go message a business saying, hey, like I could run Facebook ads for you, I mean that's what I used to do actually, and I didn't realize that was the wrong way to approach things. But you can get a lot more bang for your buck if you just say, hey, I can get you 6 to 8 patients per month for your Chiropractor Inc. Reply to this message if you're interested in that type of thing. And then of course, if you have a case study, you can say, I could show you how I did this for X company and how I got them X results for the most part, right? If you have results. If you don't have results, just say that you can get them to you can get them more patients overall. So why does that work? So that works because you're giving them what they actually want. So chiropractors, they actually want more patients. That's why they set up a business. That's why they do the service that they do, because they simply just want more patients. You can give them more patients. So when you send them a message saying that, hi, I can get you more patients, the chiropractors who actually want more patients are going to be like, oh, he can get me more patients. Let me see what he has to say. And that's the purpose of the message. That's another very, very, very important thing. What a lot of people try to do is they try to sell Facebook ads or sell their services on the first message. And they do that by they describe the service saying, oh, it could do this, or it could do that, or it could do A, Y, Z, B, X, F9, 24. And they try to sell it, and then overall, the business owner's like, wait, you're not subscribed to Bogle yet? It's with you, because you didn't say that in the message. Besides the fact, the business owner is like, I don't care that it can do all that. Because A, it's not personalized to them. Like, okay, how does that help me? Because most people don't know how to phrase a message to say how it helps the customer. And B, they're not sold on the idea of Facebook ads yet because, it's their first time seeing it. So they're not going to be sold on that idea. And that's the point of you calling them, because if you do it during a call, during an appointment, it gets through their heads a lot easier if someone else explains it to them than if they read it on a message as well. So the point of the message is just to get them to see if they are interested and, actually get them to reply. So that's why a good way to end off is saying, on mornings or afternoons, a good time for you to talk, reply if you are interested. Because what I want to do is I want to make it as easy as possible for them to get in contact with me, because I know if we start a conversation, I can handle that conversation and turn it into an appointment. It's very easy to do it from there, but it's just a matter of finding the people who are willing to start the conversation with you. And you want to make it as easy as possible. So I know what a lot of people do is like they'll send out a megaton of messages, but they say, click on this link, fill out this form, and then choose a date and time to book an appointment with me. The thing is, if you're messaging so many businesses a day, like, yeah, you're going to get maybe like 3 or 4 that are going to actually do that. But if you just say, reply if you're interested, most of them, I got very simple messages from that. They just said, hey, you can talk to me Tuesday, or hey, call me Wednesday, or whatever. I get very simple messages back because I want it to be as easy for them as possible to reach out back to me so that way I can, carry the burden a bit and, set up the time and day for us to actually get on a call. So you need, an emailing or a messaging system that can send a lot of messages, whether it be you or an automated software. And you need a script that actually works, that tells them that, hey, I can give you what you want overall. So the kind of, hey, I can give you more patience. Reply if you're interested. So that way it's as easy as possible for them to say, hey, I'm interested. And then you can go over and book that call from there. I talk about it a lot in another one of my videos of, how to book your first digital marketing client, of, crafting the perfect message and stuff like that. So you can watch that video for more in detail look about that. If you guys want to see a video of me like taking that, reply if they're interested, taking that into an appointment, and then, a live recording of the appointment, also leave a comment below in regards to that. So yeah, so that is how you book SMMA appointments without cold calling. So if you want, a good cold calling or cold emailing script that you can use, click on the video up there. Again, I do recommend cold calling if you're just brand new to this whole business thing, but I can't convince you to cold call. But overall, this script there can be used for cold calling or cold emailing. I'll see you guys in that video. Take care.